So in recent videos, I've been talking a lot about the Christmas period as well as New Year's and the New Year, New Me trend that people tend to jump on. And today is going to be a little bit more of the same. I am going to talk about New Year's, but I'm also going to talk a little bit more about why New Year's resolutions or the whole New Year, New Me kind of thing tends to fall off pretty quickly and people tend to fail with it. So one of the main reasons as to why New Year's resolutions fail is because people set themselves a goal which doesn't really mean much to them. They say to themselves, right, cool, I want to lose weight, I want to be this amount of kilograms heavy, or I want to lose a couple of stone, or I want to lose this amount of pounds, or just generic basic goals that everybody tends to want to achieve. And despite the fact that obviously when you're looking at losing fat, using body weight in the long term as a metric to determine this is going to be one of your key players. Having a goal which is dictated by just a certain amount of weight lost is a pretty shitty goal. The reason being is because it doesn't mean anything to you. So let's imagine that you start a fitness journey because you want to feel confident, you want to feel happy, you no longer want to feel like shit, and you don't want to feel depressed with how you look like anymore. Then let's say, for example, that you successfully lose a stone, but by the end of that stone loss, you still feel like shit. You still feel anxious with clothes on. You still feel awful when looking in the mirror. You still feel depressed. Would you consider that a success? Of course you wouldn't, because your initial issues and your initial problems haven't been solved. Therefore, achieving this stone loss won't really be impacting your life so much that you can justify actually doing the shit that you need to do in order to achieve it. That's number one, why New Year's resolutions fail. Number two is because people go too all in too quickly. So New Year's comes about and people say, right, New Year's is here, I'm going to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to cut out takeaways, I'm going to cut out every kind of food that isn't supported to my fat loss goal, and I'm going to be getting up at 5 a.m. every single day to go for an hour and a half walk. That is something that I call the balls deep approach, which is basically exactly that, where you go balls deep within a certain journey in order to achieve a certain outcome. The problem with that is that it's way too difficult for you to stick to, for one, and way too difficult for you to actually start doing, for two. It's kind of like going from neutral to sixth gear in a car like that. What's going to happen is that the car will not move and the engine is definitely going to help you. When instead what you need to do is you need to take it from neutral to first gear, then first gear to second gear, then second gear to third gear. So don't start your fitness journey saying to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week and do all of this crazy complicated shit which I'm not used to. Set yourself a realistic expectation. Do you think that you can get to the gym once or twice a week? If so, start doing that. Do you think that instead of getting up at 5 a.m. every single day for a walk, you can just try and increase your step count by 1,000 steps a day? If so, do that. Instead of cutting out all of your favourite foods, takeaways, and creating a disgustingly heavy deficit, work out your maintenance calories and just try and eat around 5 to 10% below that instead. So realign your expectations, realign what it is that you can do that's within your scope, and work towards that instead of going balls deep. And finally, another massive reason as to why people give up on their New Year's resolutions or New Year, New Me is because they wait for New Year's to begin their journey, which is a problem in and of itself for two reasons. Firstly, if you really did want to achieve something, if you felt so disgusted with how you looked and you were so unhappy with how you were, you wouldn't want to wait to start making that change. You'd start now. So what's the reason as to why you'll wait until New Year? Is it because you're busy? Okay, if you are busy, then what's stopping you from just doing tiny little bit extra within your scope over the course of the next week or two to at least start building the foundations ready to go to the gym in New Year's? What's stopping you from just trying to go for a little 20-minute walk every day, just so you can start to build up that habitual behavioural change which you want to start applying consistently through 2025? The best time to plant an apple tree is 10 years ago. The second best time to plant an apple tree is right now. So don't start waiting until the new year to just begin putting the steps in place to help get your results. Start this second, because if you do that, then by January you will have already hit the ground running. And the second reason as to why just wait until New Year is going to be the worst thing that you can do is everybody's going to do the same thing. Everybody's going to do the exact same thing. The gyms are going to be fucking rammed. Meal prep services are going to increase their price because there's going to be more people wanting them. PTs and coaches are going to be fully booked up. Everybody's going to want to do the same thing. And if you do the same thing as everybody else, then you'll most likely achieve the same thing as everybody else, which is February, March time, they've given up. So start doing finish it now. Start at least building the habits, the confidence, and the behaviours that you want to consistently apply throughout 2025 right now, so much so that when the new year hits, you would have already hit the ground running and you'd be one step ahead of everybody else. I hope that helps and I hope that makes sense. If you like this video, give it a like. If you've got any questions for me, comment below. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And if you want any more free fitness or fat loss based content without any of the bullshit, as always, make sure that you're either subscribed to this channel or following my Instagram at k.p_health. Peace.